Hello learners, a good day to all. This is Professor Vishal Sood from Central University of Himachal Pradesh, Dharamshala. In the previous lectures, you must have studied about teaching, instruction and pedagogy. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about different concepts which are related to teaching, just like teaching styles and teaching models. So, our today's presentation will focus on significance of teaching styles and teaching models. What do we mean by teaching styles? Basic teaching styles. What is the classification of teaching styles? And what are the factors that affect teaching styles? Then we will discuss about the suggestions, how we can adopt effective teaching styles. We will make some suggestions for that. And then afterwards we will discuss about teaching models. What are the features of a good teaching model? What are the fundamental elements of teaching models? What are the benefits of teaching models? And how the teaching models can be classified into different categories or into different families. So this will be the overall structure of today's presentation. So let us start with the teaching styles. What we mean by teaching styles. You know that teaching is an activity of influencing others. That means we teach in the classroom to influence the behavior of the learners. Teacher has to be effective in her teaching to make it influential. That means we must make our teaching effective so that the behavioral changes among the learners can be brought about. Now, the teaching includes many aspects, many facets of teaching are there, and which includes the teaching styles, the teaching content, teaching methods, teaching techniques, teaching strategies, and classroom environment, etc. and etc. So these are the facets of teaching. Now, what do we mean by teaching styles? First, this word is comprised of two words, teaching and teaching styles. First, teaching. Teaching is act of imparting knowledge through systematic procedures, or we may define teaching as sharing of experiences for psychological and intellectual growth of individuals. Teaching, you know, it is a performing art. It is both science as well as art. Now, what do we mean by teaching styles? Teaching styles are the general patterns. These are created by the teachers using a particular set of strategies, or these are set of teaching tactics. Tactics means these are the strategies which are used or employed by the teachers in emergent situations in the classroom, or the teaching styles refer to the teaching methods and strategies plus use of certain rhetorics. And there is no best teaching style. It depends on the classroom situation which particular teaching style will be best in that situation. Now, how we can classify the teaching styles? The teaching styles can be classified into main three types, and these three types are basic teaching styles. First is directing teaching style. The second is the discussing teaching style. The third is the delegating teaching style. First, the directing teaching style. In this teaching style, the teacher is more active and the learners are the passive listeners. The teacher plays a more role and students try to understand the concept or the directions, they follow the directions given by the teacher. The second basic teaching style is the discussing teaching style. In this discussing teaching style, the students have the freedom to share with the teacher. The teacher raises the questions in the classroom and students try to find out the answers with discussion. The peer group learning is more enhanced or emphasized in such type of teaching style. The delegating teaching style, this teaching style is used by those teachers who wish to empower their students. In this, the assignments, either the group assignments or the individual assignments, they are given to the learners and they work either in the group or on individual basis and try to learn something. So the teacher's role in this type of teaching style is to empower the students to delegate them the powers to work either independently or in a team manner. So these are basic teaching styles. Now we can also classify teaching styles as from style A to style J. Style A is a command teaching style in which the teacher makes all the decisions pertinent to the teaching learning process. The style B is a practice teaching style which includes that students carry out teacher prescribed tasks. The teacher will prescribe the learning tasks and the students will carry out those tasks. Then style C, which is reciprocal teaching style. In this teaching style, the students work in pairs. One performs, the other students or the peer group provides the students feedback about their work. The style D, it is self-check or self-evaluation teaching style. The students, they try to assess their own performance. And how they assess their own performance? Against certain parameters, against certain yardsticks or against certain criteria which are fixed by the teacher. Style E, that is inclusion. In such type of teaching style, the teacher plans and student monitors their own work. They try to monitor that what they are doing, what they have done, whether they have achieved the objectives or not. Style F is guided discovery style. In this, students solve the teacher set movement problems with assistance. That means the teacher set the problems for the students solve those problems, and if they require the assistance or the academic input or the support from the teacher, that support is provided by the teacher to the learners. Then style G, it is divergent teaching style. In such type of teaching style, the students solve problems without assistance from the teacher. That means students work on their own to solve their problems. Style H is individual teaching style. The teacher determines the content, what is to be taught in the classroom, and the student plans the program, how that teaching learning process will be followed. It is to be planned by the students. Then style I, it is learner initiated. Now the student, in such type of teaching style, the student plans their own program and the teacher acts as an advisor. Teacher advises the students, you can go like this or you can follow this strategy to achieve the learning objectives. And the last, that is style J, it is self-teaching learning style in which the student takes the whole responsibility, takes the full responsibility for the learning process. That means all the responsibility of the learning, how to achieve the learning objective, the whole responsibility lies with the students. So this is another classification of teaching styles. You can assess when you were in your schools or in colleges what type of particular teaching style were adopted by your teachers at that time. It may be possible in certain content or in certain subject, a particular teaching style from style A to style J has been adopted by the teacher, or in some other content, another teaching style had been adopted by the teacher. Now, what are the factors which affect the teaching styles? Many factors are there that affect the teaching styles. First, the teacher's mastery over the content matter. If we are master of our content, we have strong competency in our subject matter, definitely we will adopt those teaching styles which are more learner-centric, where the active participation of students is more emphasized. Then the teaching skills possessed by the teacher. If you possess better teaching skills, if you possess enhanced teaching skills, you will definitely adopt such type of teaching styles where that particular teaching skills are required. Then the learner's psychology. A teacher must have understanding the knowledge about the learner's characteristics, the individual differences that lies among the learners in the classroom. If you have a better understanding about those characteristics, those individual differences, you will definitely follow a better learning style or better teaching style to enhance learning among the students. Then, how to use different teaching strategies or different methods, and what type of strategies or what type of methods are available with you what type of knowledge and understanding you possess about the teaching strategies and methods. It also decides that which teaching style will be adopted by the teacher. If you are aware of a particular teaching strategy, you will definitely adopt a teaching style corresponding to that teaching strategy or teaching method. Then the technologies available with you to support your teaching learning process, or the teaching learning material available with you in the institution to support your teaching learning process. If you are conversant to use that particular technology or TLM, you will definitely use such type of teaching style that will enhance the teaching learning process, that will help you or provide you support in meeting out the learning objectives. So these are the 5 factors which affect the teaching styles. Now, how you can adopt effective teaching styles? So here are some suggestions for you learners. First, there must be a clarity to the students and teachers about the content to be taught. What is to be taught to the students? What are the instructional objectives that are to be achieved by the learners at the end of the lesson? This must be clear to the students as well as the teachers. And if these are clear, you will definitely adopt an effective teaching style. There must be clarity in the teaching learning process. There must be conciseness. The teaching should not be a vague process. It should be a comprehensive process. You must be very comprehensive while teaching in the classroom. And if you are concise, if you are comprehensive in the classroom, you will definitely adopt an effective teaching style. And as a teacher, you must be ready for any unexpected situation during the teaching learning process. Because whatever we plan before entering the classroom, it is not sure that the same situation will occur or will exist in the classroom. So any unexpected situation can be there in the classroom. So during the teaching encounter, you must be ready to face those unexpected situations, and accordingly you can adopt a particular teaching style. And a teacher must be very confident. He must be unbiased. He must be impartial and provide equal opportunities to all students for participation in the teaching learning process. That means you have to reduce the chances of marginalization of the students in the classroom. So if you will adopt these suggestions, you will definitely become an effective teacher. So till now we have discussed about the teaching styles. Now another concept which is related to teaching is teaching model. What do we mean by teaching model? A teaching model is a blueprint. It's a plan or it's a design of teaching. It's a blueprint of the whole teaching learning process that will go inside the classroom, or that will happen after entering of the teacher within the classroom. Or teaching models, they can be defined as the prescriptive teaching strategies. How the teacher will go in the classroom, what strategy he will follow to make the students understand about the content matter. These teaching models can also be considered as guidelines for designing educational activities. What particular educational activities are to be followed or to be carried out in the classroom situations. These are the guidelines, these models are the guidelines that this particular activity can be followed in the classroom. Then it is a teaching model which is a plan for creating a suitable learning environment or a conducive learning environment for the students in the classroom. So a teaching model, it is a blueprint, it's a plan of action. These are the prescriptive teaching strategies, and it is a plan for creating suitable learning environment in the classroom. So these all are comprised of this teaching model. Now, what are the features of good teaching model? First, any teaching model is said to be good and effective if it is interactive in nature. That means there are chances for the students and teachers interaction. There are opportunities for the learners to interact with one another. And there are chances for interaction between the students and the content. Then A good teaching model should be viable in identifying students' strengths and weaknesses. That means such strategies, prescriptive strategies or plans should be like this, that it must identify what students have achieved and where they are lacking or where they have not achieved the learning objectives. Then a good teaching model should help for better performance of both teacher and students. That means a good teaching model is that which helps the teacher to perform better, to make his teaching effective. And a good teaching model is that which helps the students to perform better, to show better learning outcomes. A good teaching model have philosophical and psychological basis, and it complement the content to be taught. Here what we mean by the complementation of the content, that means it enhances the content, the objectives of the content or the learning outcomes, they are made clear through a model or through that plan of action to the teachers and students, and through that clarity the teacher and students can perform better. So any good teaching model that can complement the content which is to be taught by the teacher in the classroom situation. A good teaching model should always help in creating interesting and motivating learning environment. That means a teaching model should be like that it helps such learning environment in the classroom which enhances or which creates interest among the learners, which motivates, which generates a curiosity among the learners to learn further. Then a good teaching model should be like that which help in developing creativity, which help in generating innovative ideas, which help in bringing expected behavioral changes among the learners. So a good teaching model should be interactive, it should create interest, it should be motivating, it should develop creativity and develop innovative ideas and bring expected behavioral change and promote the teaching as well as learning among the learners. Now, what are the fundamental elements of teaching model? There are 6 fundamental elements of teaching model. First is focus, second is syntax, the third is principle of reaction, fourth is social system, fifth is support system, and the sixth and last is application and evaluation system. Now the focus. Focus means objectives. Why we are going to teach a particular content in the classroom. Focus refers to that. What are the instructional objectives? What are the objectives of teaching? So the focus refers to the objectives of the teaching, or these are the instructional objectives. Syntax. Syntax means this structure of the teaching. How the teaching learning process will be carried out in the classroom. Syntax is structure, that what will be the role of the teacher, what type of activities will be carried out in the classroom, what type of teaching activities and what type of work is to be carried out by the students. This all is included in the syntax part of the teaching model. Then principle of reaction. What will be the role of the teacher? Whether the teacher will be more active or the students will be more active. How the students' participation will be ensured. These all fall under the principle of reaction. Then social system. Social system, it refers to the relationship between the teacher and the students within the classroom situation. It refers to the reinforcement, how the reinforcement will be provided, whether there will be a congenial relationship, a favorable relationship, a good relationship, or the teacher will be authoritative, or it will be a delegating teaching style, or it will be a discussing teaching style, or it will be a directing teaching style followed by the teacher. These teaching style will decide about the social system. Then the fifth element of the teaching model is support system. What type of strategies, what type of teaching learning material will support the teacher and the students during their teaching learning process. Support system will include the teaching learning material, the teaching aids, the technological aids that can be used by the teacher to support his teaching process so that the learning objectives which fall under focus, they can be achieved. And the last and the most important element of any teaching model is the application and the evaluation system. In which particular situation, in which particular content, in which particular subject that teaching model can be adopted, that teaching model can be applied, and what evaluation strategies, what assessment strategies can be adopted by the teacher to know whether the learning objectives have been achieved or not. This falls under this element, that is application and evaluation system. Now, what are the benefits of teaching models? There are benefits both for the teachers as well as for the students. Now, first discuss what are the benefits of teaching model for the teachers. The teaching model helps in planning and executing teaching by following a systematic approach. That means the teachers can plan and execute their teaching in a systematic manner if he is clear about the teaching model, which teaching model he is going to adopt. Then, teaching model improve the quality of instruction. That means the quality of instruction or the teaching will be made effective if a teaching model is appropriately employed by the teacher. And it also helps in improving the students' participation in teaching learning process. The teaching models helps in generating or developing awareness about students' learning needs, what the students require, and how the instruction or teaching will impact them. This is also decided by a teaching model. And a good teaching model always helps in enhancing learning as well as the rate of learning among the students. So this is not only a benefit for the teachers. On the other hand, the enhanced learning among the students as well as enhanced rate of learning among the students, it is also a benefit for the students. So it increases, a good teaching model increases aptitude for learning. It builds self-esteem of the students. They become more confident. They become aware of their weaknesses. They become aware of their strengths. And the teaching model, if it is effective, it gives due place and recognition to learners' characteristics. That means the students' psychological characteristics, their social characteristics, or their intellectual characteristics, they are given a due recognition, a due identification in a good teaching model. And if those characteristics are given due place in the teaching learning process, definitely the teaching will be more effective. And the teaching model always facilitates different kinds of learning. Some learn by listening, some learn by doing. So any good teaching model, it facilitates different kinds of learning. Now, what are different families of teaching models, or how we can classify teaching models? There are four major families or four major types of teaching models. First is personal models, or classification of the teaching models on personal basis. Then behavioral altering or behavioral change models. Then the third family of teaching model is social interaction models. And fourth family of the teaching models is information processing or information development models. And then there are hybrid or mixed models, which are the combination of these four families, which are known as hybrid or mixed models. Now, social interaction models, under this family, group investigation model is there, social inquiry model is there, laboratory model is there. In behavioral altering or behavioral change models, direct model is there, programmed instruction model is there, practice-based model is there. Then the third family, information development or information processing models, there are three major models: Gagne model, Brunner model, and Schumann model is there. Then personal basis model or personal models, this includes non-directive model, self-awareness model, creative model, and hybrid or mixed model is constructive approach, that how we can construct knowledge through the experiences of the learners or through constructing and compiling the experiences of the learner. So this is hybrid or a mixed model combination of the previous four families. So these are the four major families of the teaching models, the details of which you will learn in the forthcoming lectures. So learners, I hope that you must have understood about the teaching styles and teaching models. So learners, I wish to conclude today's discussion with the concluding remarks that if we wish to improve our teaching and for making our teaching interesting, effective, and a lively experience for the learners, we must have knowledge, understanding, and skills to adopt an appropriate teaching styles or appropriate teaching model, but for that we must take into cognizance the nature of the content matter. That means the content matter must be taken into consideration while selecting a particular teaching style. Then the nature of learners, their intellectual characteristics, their social characteristics, they must be taken into consideration while the teacher, while selecting a particular teaching style and a teaching model. And the resources which are available with us either in our school or in outside school, at our home, we can use those resources. Those resources must be taken into consideration by the teacher while selecting a particular teaching style and a teaching model for making our teaching effective in the classroom situation. I hope you must have understood about the teaching styles and teaching models. Thank you very much.